modified law, then it will be easy. You can refer the act and you can answer most of the questions. Okay. So, but whereas Muslim law, you had to remember entire thing.
Yes, sir, you are correct.
Yeah. So just I'll 1 minute. So I will not give introduction about personal law because, as I told already, why personal laws are required. But yeah. So Hindu law, basically it is governed. There are three basic acts: Hindu Marriage Act, then Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act, Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act. Okay, so these acts basically are already there. So automatically most of the questions will be from bare act except one or two are there, so you have to go through that. Okay, so anybody who there is nothing specific who is Hindu or not, anyone, there is certain definition, like if he declares that he is a Hindu, he is a Hindu. Okay, he practices that Hindu religion, he is a Hindu. He converts himself through any ceremony also, he is a Hindu. Okay, unless until even Jains, Sikhs, it applies to all those people also, Hindu law. Okay, Buddhist, any this is applicable to them also. Okay, then sources of Hindu law is very important. See, these things are not there in the bare act. That is the thing I am telling these things. Okay, uh, it is ancient sources, that is Shruti, Smriti, then digest and commentaries, and customs are also there. Ancient sources, customs are not there here, but customs are also there. Then modern sources, legislation is there, judicial precedents are there. Okay, then equity, good conscience is also there. Okay, so we need to understand what is Shruti, Smriti. Okay, then digest and commentaries are very important. Mitakshara and Dayabaga, these are the two schools for Hindu law. Okay, we will talk about that. But basically, Shruti is literally means heard from Rishis. Rishis heard from the God. Okay, Rishis heard from the God and they gave it to us. That is Shruti, hearing. Okay, Rishis heard from the God. That is Shruti is here, right? Vinadam, Shruti is hearing. So Vedas, they consider the divine and the primary source. It is here heard from the God. Then Smriti. Smriti is what is remembered. Okay, by the sages they told. See, what they told is there, but what is remembered is the Smriti. So it is also called Dharma Shastras. Then digest and commentaries. Digest and commentaries. There are basically there are two schools, Mitakshara and Dayabaga schools. So based on their teachings, there are certain people who wrote those, who practices this thing. I'll tell about that one next slides. Okay, so that is the thing. Then customs. This is the uh, recognized in Hindu law. Basically, everyone have their own different customs. Customs take precedence in lot of things. Okay, so customs like marrying sister son is a custom. Okay, in South India, but in North India it is not valid. Okay, so in South India it is, even though it is invalid, but because of customs they made it valid. So customs take precedence over the law in certain cases. So as per law, it is prohibited relationship. marrying daughter of sister is a prohibited. But due to custom in South India, wherever in personal law, customs take precedence over laws. Okay, even in diverse, in certain tribal communities, they need not take, tribals are they are as per the Hindu law only. Okay, they are treated as Hindus, so they had to go through Hindu law only. But when it comes to diverse or certain marriages, so they are practicing certain customs. So even though the village elders or panchayat elders, or they go to a temple and they give divorce, that is valid for certain tribals. Okay, but other Hindus, they have to go to court and take divorce. So customs take precedence. So customs is one of the important sources for Hindu law. Okay, then customs are also divided again into three. That is local customs in that locality, family customs. Certain families will have certain customs. That is also important. Then in again India, we know there are a lot of caste systems. Each caste have different customs. So then those also is applicable. So customs are one of the sources. So you try to understand, customs is not given. I'll write here only so that when I give notes, we should not. Please don't disturb the screen. If you do that, this will be shared. Okay. Don't play on the screens. Then the other source is the modern sources. That is legislation that is codified directly. We know that various acts, 3 acts, 4 acts, what I told. Then judicial precedents, that lot of judgments given by Supreme Court and High Court. Then justice, equity, and good conscience is another sources of law. Okay. So these are the 4 acts. Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Hindu Succession Act 1956. All are 1955 and 56 only. Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act 1956. Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act 1956. These are all 4 types of these things. So Hindu Act or family law, what we get, will have these 4 acts in the book. Okay. So as I told, there are 2 schools of Hindu law. You try to remember this. One is Mitakshara and Dayabaga. Okay. So Mitakshara is followed in most of the India. Dayabaga is followed in basically West Bengal and Assam, that is eastern side of the country. So Mitakshara is followed in those things. Mitakshara is followed in entire country except those parts. Okay. Bengal and East, they follow Dayabaga. There are certain sub-schools also there in Mitakshara. So the Dravida school is there, Maharashtra school is there, Banaras school is there, Mithila school is there. So there will be even certain changes in those practices. South Indian, they follow certain changes. Maharashtra, they have certain changes. Banaras or UP is different. Mithila is different. Mithila is Bihar side. They are just, there will be certain changes will be there. So in Dayabaga and Mitakshara, I will not go in depth. There will be a lot of minor differences there when it comes to family succession and rights of women, widows, and Sapinda relationship. Sapinda relationship, there is a section. So that is very important. Sapinda relationship is there is marriage in Sapinda relation is not valid. Okay. So that is very important. Sapinda relation, there is a separate section. You can go through that. So monogamy, this is single marriage. Then soundness of mind, age is important. Prohibited degrees of relationship, that is there. Okay. Then Sapinda relationship, that is section 5. You can go through that one. That's what I told in Marriage Act. You will find all these things. Sapinda relation, prohibited degrees. This is important question. So they will ask question from what is Sapinda relation, is what is this prohibited relation, is it a prohibited or a not prohibited relationship? They may ask based on the question. Okay, there are prohibited relationship list is given. What is prohibited, what is not prohibited? They will ask question. So you will not get, is this a prohibited relationship? It is not a prohibited relationship. You have to answer going through the book also. I told certain things you can answer from bare act, but you should know where to search for them. Okay, so prohibited relationship, it will be there in the book, but you have to study that where you will get that prohibited relationship or where the Sapinda relationship is there. Based on that one, you can answer those questions. Okay, if when we are answering that, if we can find such thing, we will try to answer. Okay, I'll see if so. Yeah, it is there here. Okay, so Sapinda relationship is one person is a linear ascendant of the other within the limits of Sapinda relation, or if they have common linearly as ascendant who is within the limits of Sapinda. So there are only two things: extends to 5 generations from the father side, 3 generations on the mother side. So you should not marry from them. So relationship in the 5 generations. So nobody will live in those days. See, there used to be, see, this Sapinda relationship, Hindu Marriage Act based on the what I told old scriptures, right? So in those days, there used to be marriage at the age of 6 years, 5 years, child marriages were there. Okay. So when the girl was 12 years, they used to marry her. So she used to have a child. So 12 years, 12 years, 12 years. Within 36 years, they used to have a grandchildren also in those days. So for those reasons, 5 generations, they should not marry. That was the relationship. So that 50 years old, he will be fifth generation, girl will be there at age of 6. So they used to marry in those days. So to prohibit that, they used to do that. Okay, now it is not practical. Now they are marrying after 21 years. So 5 generations, nobody will live. 2 generations, it will be finished. Okay. So it is for those years practice. But for academic purpose, we should learn these things. From father side, it is 5 generations. From mother side, 3 generations is Sapinda relationship. Okay. Where they pradhan, pinda pradhan, what they call whom they do pinda pradhan. So 5 generations, they do pinda pradhan. So that is Sapinda relationship. So 5 generations from the father side, 3 generations from the mother side. So it was there in those days because they used to marry. There was child marriages in those days. 5-year-old girl, 3-year-old girl. They used to marry 11 years, 12 years. They used to become mother. 13 years they used to become mother. So if you go 5 generations also, 13, 13, 13, 13, 40, 50 years, they should have a small grandchildren also. So that is the reason they have prohibited. So prohibited relationship, same thing, lineal descendants, father, grandmother, daughter, grandson, descendants, siblings, half full uterine. Okay, brother's wife, uncle's wife, etc. These are things. Okay, uterine siblings means coming from the same mother. So your mother, say, let us say a lady married a person, but earlier marriage she is having a children, so you cannot marry them also. Uterine mother, okay, with your father, there is a child, but this child cannot marry uh, that uterine brother also. Okay, that is the thing. Then voidable, certain marriages are void. Ab initio itself, bigamy is void. So there was a question. Okay, so void, but they get children are legitimate. Okay, illegitimate marriage, but children are legitimate. Here, somebody was asking, right? Voidable marriage, legitimate children becomes legitimate only. So they get legal that property rights. Okay. What is void marriages? Void ab initio, invalid from the start. Bigamy, prohibited degrees, sapinda, valid. Voidable marriage is impotency, unsound mind, wife pregnant by another. So it is voidable. So marital remedies, restitution of conjugal rights or judicial separation. Section 9 says you can ask for restitution of conjugal rights. RCR, what we call judicial separate is divorce. You can file section 10. Okay, this is the remedies you get if there is any dispute. So divorce, these are the grounds for divorce: adultery, cruelty, desertion, conversion, insanity. So conversion is very important. They are asking certain questions. Okay, renunciation. Renunciation is that fellow become sannyasi. Okay, so that is renunciation. Divorce can be mutual grounds or by special grounds. Hindu Succession Act, Mitakshara co-parency, devolution, intestate versus testamentary. Intestate means when there is no will. Okay. So there is a section in this thing, and if there is a will, that is testamentary. So it is as per will only if it is self-acquired property. So devolution, section 6 of this co-personal interest dissolved survivorship. Now it devolves by test or intestate succession as per the act only. Okay. Mitakshara, interest of joint acquired by birth. Okay, this is male family members will get rights in the family property, but it is abolished in the 2005. Okay, Mitakshara is now every girl and boy both have rights in the family property. So the daughter is of a co-partner by birth becomes a co-partner in her right. So co-partner property earlier it was only male, now it is both. So same rights and liabilities that is there. So that is a case law. Class 1 heirs, class 2 heirs, agnates, cognates. Class 1 heirs, they take the property simultaneously and to the exclusion of other heirs. Class 2 heirs, if there is no class 1 heirs, it goes to class 2 heirs. Agnates, relatives through the male line. Cognates, relatives not purely through the male line, they take only if there is no agnates. Primary heir, son, daughter, widow, mother. Heirs of predeceased children. Okay, these are all class 1 heirs. Okay. Then intestate succession, property dissolves upon sons, daughter, and husband. Heirs of the husband, mother and father, heirs of the father, heirs of the mother. Okay. Heirs of the husband is also general rule. Okay. Exceptions, property inherited from parents. If he died without children, it goes to the heirs of her father. Her father, heirs of her father. Okay. Remember this. Property inherited from husband-in-laws. So it goes to children, husband, children also. So guardianship, natural guardian, father and after him the mother. Custody of minor, the custody ordinarily be with mother. Guardianship of illegitimate child, the mother and after her father. Capacity adoptee, this is another important thing. So any adult male or female of sound mind can adopt. If a male adopts, he must take consent of his wife. Okay. Who can adopt? Who can be adopted? Must be a Hindu. If you are, because we are talking about Hindu law, he must be Hindu. Okay, not already adopted, unmarried only, under 15 years of age. So only customs allows. Okay. Age gap between adopter and adoptee, if opposite sex, especially opposite sex, must be 21 years. Same child cannot be adopted by two people. Act of giving and taking is essential. Okay. This is very important adoption. 21 years gap should be there if adopted between opposite sex, and if it is gents, he has to take permission of his wife if wife is alive. Okay, maintenance of wife is maintenance should be paid to maintain his wife. Okay, and children also. So this is Hindu law. Okay,